Today, we are taking a look at TREEBLOX, a 3D plant strategy game for 2 players, and it's published by Emergent Plant Life. And as you can kind of tell in the cover, it has a lot of these Lego-y type pieces, and there's a lot in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a brief look at how it plays, and we're going to come back up and give you our thoughts. TREEBLOX, one player plays as the dark tree and one player plays as the light tree. Now for the light tree, white are the branches and the light green are the leaves. And the dark tree, we got branches and leaves. Now the object of the game is to build a tree that has more active leaves than your opponent's. Active leaves are the leaves that have no other cubes directly above them. These are the leaves that are visible if you look at the board straight from above. Players are going to keep taking turns placing out some of their cubes. Now on your turn, the first thing you're going to do is count your active leaves. So let's say it's Dark Tree's turn. So they've got 1, 2, 3 visible leaves, so visible from above, so those are the active leaves. At this point, you're going to determine your growth rate. So if you have 3 or more active leaves, which this is the case here, then you can place out 2 cubes. If there were only 2 visible, then you can only place out 1 cube. Next, you're going to place the cubes into the available holes, and you can place out a branch or a leaf. Now, available holes are any vacant holes on branches of your color and any vacant holes on the board. So there's still a few left on the board here. Now, no cubes can ever be attached to the holes on your leaves. So I could not put, for instance, this leaf on top of another leaf. So I could place this branch here, or I could potentially place a branch, on the board like this. Or I could place a leaf onto a branch, and so on. Now when placing cubes, you're not confined to this grid, so you can have things branch out. So I could keep building my branch like this out here, and then have a leaf come out here, and so it'll get a little branchy. Let's go and do a couple turns as an example. So let's say it's the dark tree's turn. Alright, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 active leaves, so they're visible from the top. Alright, so we can place out 2 cubes because there's 3 or more. Alright, so let's go ahead, let's put a leaf right here. And then let's put a branch, let's start another branch right there. Alright, so that is dark tree's turn. Now light tree. Alright, so they only have 2 visible leaves, or basically only 2 active leaves at this point, because on Dark Tree's prior turn, we blocked one of theirs. So now, because there's only 2, they can only put out 1 cube. Alright, so let's say that they want to put out this leaf right here, so next turn, they now would have 3 active leaves. Players will continue taking turns back and forth until the game end is triggered. Now the game is over if one of the trees has no active leaves, so say all of the green leaves are gone, or no cubes have been placed during 2 consecutive turns, so both trees pass. And then after one player runs out of available cubes, the other player will get the final growth phase, and then at the end of the game, whoever has the most active leaves is the winner. Now I'm surprised because I actually like this one more than he does, which I thought it would be reverse. So tell me why, or just say what you like and don't like, I guess. What are your thoughts?
So obviously it's an abstract game, and I'm generally an abstract game kind of person. However, the interaction in this game I wasn't a big fan of. I think it was just the fact that, instead of going after or attacking the other person, you're covering up the other person, and for whatever reason that type of interaction just didn't sit well with me. I didn't like that aspect of it, but I mean I did like the puzzly nature, but at the same time also the pieces were a little fiddly. So once you started building up, then it started getting a little unstable, and I was like, we got to try and hold it all together as we're trying to put these pieces on. And now it's just kind of annoying to me too.
Yeah, that was definitely as it got taller and wider, and just your branches were spreading out. It definitely was a little fiddly, but I mean I feel like it still functioned. I mean it still functioned, but you just had to be careful that you didn't pull off a branch, or because you had to push it in a little bit hard sometimes, and it just didn't quite work out. So it's a little fiddly, but I still enjoyed it. Now, I really like Legos, and this just gives me a little bit of that satisfaction with a game. Now, this is a light, fast game. So this is something that I would like to pull out every now and then and just play. If I want a little bit of that Lego feel and making, it looks cool kind of when it's done. You got all these little branches and all different colored pieces, and I love the bamboo baseboard. I just love the aesthetic of it.
Yeah.
And I enjoy that sensation of building things. Now the gameplay itself, I thought the gameplay was fine and enjoyable. I didn't mind, especially because it's a smaller, lighter, or a faster game, and it's not super complex. I don't mind a little bit of, take that-y where you're trying to, block other people or cover their leaves. Because it is such a short game, I'm fine with playing those types of games every now and then. Now, I will say, this isn't one I feel like I want to play over and over and over again. This is probably one that I would like to pull out every now and then just to kind of, have some fun. But this is definitely not one where you just play over and over and over again.
Yeah, and I could do without really playing it at all. It just didn't go well with me. I don't know.
I'm just so surprised. I thought you would like it more, but I think one of the main things that's really holding me onto this one is because I love the aesthetic of it and like putting the pieces together, building your branches. I enjoy it. So this is definitely one to check out if you want a lighter, puzzly, Lego-y type of game. Mm-hmm. It's kind of cool. So that is TREEBLOX, guys. Let us know if you guys have even heard of this game. I haven't heard many people talk about it, and I think it came out earlier this year, but it's definitely one to try in my opinion. Not as much in your opinion.
Not so
right?
much.
But in my opinion, I think it's worth a play and try, and I find it enjoyable.
There you go.
Guys, that's our thoughts on TREEBLOX. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.